interesting discoveries along the way. And social VR is definitely one of them. After COVID-19 forced us to leave our office, we found a new home here in Allspace VR. And with our venue here, the Area X, we have created a world where we can be present, where we can be close to each other in our team and to other people like you, and where we can share stories. And born out of this spirit, we decided to create the X Nights, which we are launching tonight. And we are very, very happy that you guys showed up and joined this event. In the future, we will meet here once a month on every second Thursday. At least this is our plan. And we always start with a talk given by some expert, followed by a party down in the basement club. And in between, hopefully, there will be plenty of time for conversations around the campfire we have here. And with that, we get our speaker for tonight, Stephanie Bagehorn. She is a brand manager at VM People, and she will tell us a story that we experienced only recently, beginning of November, the story of IMMERSIVE X. Round of applause for Stephanie.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, great. Also from my side, a very good evening. So evening in Germany. I don't know where you guys from. And I'm very happy that I have the great honor to hold the first X talk. And it is titled Key Success Factors for Hosting a Conference in VR. And this is exactly what we from VM People did about a month ago. And yes, we hosted the conference called IMMERSIVE X. And the hybrid conference focused on digital forms of storytelling and following the principles of experiential learning. About eight participants from the fields of marketing and media and communication had the opportunity to play with interactive and immersive technologies such as social VR and get inspiration for their everyday work. And yeah, the world we are in right now was the main stage. I am on the main stage of our conference we had in November. And here in the Area X, the attendees could listen to the sessions such as you guys are doing right now, interact with the speaker and talk to others of the attendees on our campfire, and also shake their virtual booties in the basement so we can do later this evening. And I'm very excited to see you dance in about 2 hours. But what does hybrid mean in that case of our IMMERSIVE X? As you can see from these 3 icons, there were 3 parts of our conference, and one part was here in the VR, one part was in 2D live stream, and the whole thing was supplemented with elements from the real world, which we sent to the attendees in advance by mail, like break snack or some other little surprises that make the attendees a community. However, they were in Germany or in America. Yes, and in the next few minutes, I would like to share with you the experiences we have made, especially in VR. This is the topic for tonight, and to give you a better idea of what we made the Immersive X and what it was all about, we have brought you a short clip, and I'm very happy to watch it with you together now.
Natürlich passend zu unserer heutigen Veranstaltung immersiv. Ich bitte auf die Bühne Anne Säubert.
Er forscht vor allem im Bereich in der Verbindung zwischen Systemtheorie und Game Design.
Habt ihr einmal die Möglichkeit, auf ungefähr 6 Uhr habt ihr so einen kleinen Fotoapparat. Wenn ihr da drauf drückt, macht ihr im Prinzip die Perspektive, die ihr selber seht, als Foto. Yeah, I hope that gives you an idea of the Immersive X. Yeah, great. Thank you very much. And when we started planning a conference in December 2019, we assumed it would be a real event, and yeah, plot twist, Corona happened. And yeah, as Thomas already said, we have to make new plans for our conference. And now our creativity was needed. And around April, after the whole team got an Oculus Quest, we are excited about the virtual reality. And then we knew we are going to have a VR conference. And our first steps in this new world were pretty shaky, just like Bambi. And yes, please raise your hand. Who of you also needed some time to get VR ready? Of course, me, I needed a lot of help. Yeah. And yeah, I think at some time I feel still like Bambi, but yeah, so you have to learn every day a bit more about the VR. And so our first key success factor is take your time to explore the VR. It sounds simple, but it's very, very yeah, it's such a very yeah, it's very now I'm leaving the me yes. It's important, yeah, that's the word. Genau. Nobody comes to a new planet and knows directly all the rules, laws, and opportunities. And yeah, it's the same way when you get the first time in VR and you have to get to know the new environment first in order to know what possibilities it offers. And as I said, we decided to host our conference in VR in April, and we hosted it in November. So we take our time to prepare it very, very well. And we experience many different VR apps like Altspace or Rec Room or VR Chat. And this has helped us to realize what possibilities we have in this fantastic world for our conference. And so the time, yeah, so take the time and to learn and understand the possibilities VR gives you for your conference, and then draw your conclusions. And it definitely will pay off if you take the time. And this brings me to the second success factor. involve natives. They are always people who are more experienced than you, and they have already gained important knowledge and have explored the planet that is unknown to you and have created their first maps. And you can learn from them. They can show you the way and walk with you together. And we also benefit greatly from the knowledge of VR natives when planning our conference, and we still do. Yeah, 2 examples of very helpful people are still supporting us today, like our friend Liam on that side and Klaus there. Yeah, both of them are really supported us for the Immersive X, and yes, always did a great job. Thank you to Liam and to Klaus. And yes, Liam is and has always been a great help to us when it comes to checking if the technical requirements fit the concept. And that is the next factor, the check-up. And once you have learned about the possibilities of VR, get a clear picture of what kind of conference you want to do. That is very, very good to know for you. And for example, just like in the real world, it makes a big difference whether the conference is for 10 or for 10,000 people. And you have to create a precise set of requirements for your event and then see what can be implemented where in VR. In the end, for us, AltSpace was the right choice, but maybe a different app is better for your event and your requirements. And once you have decided on a setup, it's best to test everything carefully before. And the big day, before the big day, to be as prepared as possible and check if the content works in the end. And when developing a VR conference concept, it is also important to ensure that a real event is not simply copied one-to-one into a virtual reality. So you can't copy a real-life event to a 2D event, and you can't copy a real-life event to a virtual event as well. And yeah, so you have to transform your concept. In VR, there are other laws and possibilities, and it's essential to take these into account. And they give you the opportunity to make something very special out of your conference, something very outstanding. For example, travel with all participants to another world within seconds is impossible in reality, but in VR, it's no problem. And send a participant a heart emoji, strange and awkward in real life, but a natural way to communicate in VR. So yeah, we can send hearts to each other, and it's totally fine and a nice way to communicate. And give the speaker a feedback of what you think about this session. Yeah, and what I want to say is be brave and use the various interaction possibilities that VR offers, and involve your attendees. That is a really great possibility that especially social VR gives us. Yeah, and in our experience, a very important success factor is definitely the onboarding of the participants. For many, are still a completely new world, So raise your hand who needed help when they first go into VR and need it today. Yeah, me too, as we already know. And some of you are for the first time in VR today. And yes, give your attendees your hand and go with them together in this new world. And yeah, for many, fear of technology is a huge barrier to use the VR technology. And we wanted to take away that fear as much as possible for our conference Immersive X attendees. And for this reason, we sent them the VR headsets a few days before the actual conference. And 2 days before the Immersive X, we also invited them to a small warm-up in VR. And this gave them the opportunity to familiarize themselves with the technology and learn the basics. And we picked them up in their familiar world and crossed the threshold into VR together with them. And in addition to various video tutorials, we also set up a help desk in Zoom and helped the participants with any difficulties. And yes, so that brings me to the next important point, the adaptation. We have made the experience that people are uncomfortable when they are directly recognized as a newbie, such as me speaking English to you. And oh, thanks for the hearts. And we have made the experience that it takes time to feel comfortable in a new world such as we are. And so when we planning our conference, and this is the advice we give to you, allow time for your attendees to get comfortable in the new world and familiarize themselves with what's going on. And this includes, for example, styling their own avatar and getting to know the basics. In the best case, we will have some stuff in VR to teach these functions, such that you dress your avatar or how you move in the VR. And yeah, the goal is always that the attendees feel comfortable and are not afraid to do something wrong. And the next success factor is also intended to contribute the well-being of the attendees, the participation. VR and social VR in particular is focused on interaction and participation, but as in real life, there will be different types of personalities among the attendees of a VR conference. Also at the Immersive X, some people were very extroverted, addresses other people directly and took advantage of every offer of interactions. But other people were more shy, kept themselves and were happy just to watch the sessions. And yeah, right. You have to respect that there are different types of personalities, and the conference program should give every personality type the opportunity to be part of the event in their own way without overwhelming one and boring the other. But it is also true for the extroverted lions, as we can hear. More can be too much. And that's the last success factor on my list. Prevent overload. Yes, VR offers an unimaginable number of possibilities. Nevertheless, when designing the program, this is our advice to you, it is essential to make sure that the attendees are not overburned. Otherwise, a great immersive experience can quickly turn into a complete sensory overload. For example, a full day conference with 2-hour sessions in the real world is no problem for many people. In our experience, this looks very different in VR. Many people simply need a break after a certain amount of time, and this must definitely be taken into account when designing the program of a VR conference. And I know it's hard not to put every good idea into practice, but the feedback from the attendees of our conference was that the program was a bit too extensive. And yes, the attendees don't know what else we had planned. And it was many, many more. But yeah, in the end, it's all about creating the best possible experience for the attendees, and therefore you have sometimes killed your darlings, because what we don't need after that pandemic of Corona is an invasion of sensory overloaded zombies. And this was the last key success factor for hosting a VR conference from my side. I'm thanking you very much for your attention. And yeah, thank you. Now, I'd like to ask the other VM people to join me on stage, and we'll be happy to answer your questions if you have some.
Thank you, Steffi, for taking the courage to do our first X talk. So I guess it would be great if you could share your experiences. What have you done in VR in terms of seminars, workshops, conference? Do you have any comments on our key findings? Do you have any remarks? Do you have any questions regarding what we have experienced?
The raise hand feature should now be available. So if anyone has any questions, just press the raise hand button.
There is one question from Amaza.
I can see the hand raise.
Ja. Siehst du sie, Amaza?
Yes.
Hi.
You have now
Can
the
you hear
megaphone?
me?
Yeah, we
Yes.
can hear you.
Great. Hi. Thanks so much. Sorry, I got in a rush. That's why my avatar is not really representing me that well. I was wondering, so thanks for the talk, first of all. That was already a really good introduction. I was wondering, we're looking at using VR as a matter for retreats, not so much for conferences. And I was wondering if you have any insights on that as well. So it would be going like into mindfulness retreats kind of things.
Do you want to say something?
Well, I could only say something on a personal level. I'm doing the same for myself, but not in well, in terms of an event. Is anybody in the audience maybe who has made some experience with organizing like a virtual retreat, who wants to share his or her experience? Doesn't seem to be the case. But what I know is that there are a lot of events here in VR resolving around meditation. And if you want to check the events taking place in the next couple of days, I'm pretty sure that there are a lot of events. For example, I know Evolver or Evolve VR. They have a retreat or place where you can meditate, and I would point you to in that direction, and there you can maybe get in touch with the guys who organize these events. Unfortunately, we haven't done an event before like that. Are there any other comments or questions in regard to our key findings?
Jerry is raised his or her hand and have the megaphone now.
Jerry the tire.
Jerry the tire guy, how's it going?
Hi.
Hi.
Good. I figure I'll just come up to the front so everyone can see me. Hello, everyone. How you guys doing today? Hope everyone's doing well, staying safe from COVID. So yeah, I just wanted to say I'm kind of new to the game. You guys done a great job with this game, and I could see it actually having a bigger impact, especially during COVID. And I was wondering, is there a way that, you know, say if I wanted to, like, you know, host an event like this, are there any ways that we can even have more people in a single setting? I'm not sure, like, because I wanted to try to get into, like, start creating worlds or have someone create a world for me. And I wanted to know, is there a limit on, you know, do you guys set the limit on how many people can actually fit into a world at one time, or is that something that's on the creator side?
That's something on the Altspace side. There is a limitation on bullet worlds or user bullet worlds. I think it's around 30-ish people. And when you are starting an event, you can request the front row feature, and this will make the room not bigger for more people, but more people can participate in the event. You have features then like that you can broadcast yourself in different instances of the same world, and people over that are outnumbered the 30 are breaking up in different instances of this world. So you have always the maximum capacity of 30 people in one world, but there you can host an event for up to 3,000 people or something or more.
Oh, okay. So you can host an event up to, and forgive me again, I'm new. So you can host an event up to 3,000 people, but it'll be multiple rooms, I'm assuming?
Yep.
Yeah, multiple instances of the same world.
I got you. Just won't see everyone, or the room won't feel crowded, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. All right. That's awesome. And another question. Well, you know what? I'll save it for next time. I appreciate you guys answering my question. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
So Celestial have a question and have now a megaphone.
Hey everyone, I'm Celeste out of Los Angeles, and I'm I've been a part of a couple different teams that I've put on events here in AltSpace as a DJ and also as a host myself. I'm just curious if you have produced any events or conferences in other platforms in virtual reality besides AltSpace, maybe anything else out there that we might not have heard of that you can recommend or you've had luck working in?
So we just hosted a conference in AltSpace, and I don't know what it's in America. If you have already the opportunity to test Horizon from Facebook.
Yeah, I've been in a couple times, but it's very new and it's still in a beta. So you have to have a special code to get. I'm just curious if there's any other platforms or maybe anyone else here knows that are popular and accessible.
Yeah, when we, as Stephanie said in her talk before we came up with the decision to host the conference in AltSpace, we had a look at Rec Room and also VR chat. But for a number of reasons, we found that AltSpace has the best conditions right now, especially for what we had in mind. It all depends. For example, what I know is that there have been DJ sets, for example, in VR chat, for example. VR chat, yeah. I guess this is something what we can recommend is really first to that you try to develop an understanding what you really have in mind, what the conference should be about the content, about the feeling that you want to transmit, and then decide what's the best technology. And before that, as also Stephanie said, you need to explore the opportunities, and maybe in the end, if I have to find the best match in terms of the app and what you have in mind, what you plan. And for us, it was AltSpace.
Yeah, it's been very accessible for the most part, the go-to and the easiest, and it seems like the most optimized.
And the more
True.
digest.
Yeah. So we have another question from Bassett, and you have a megaphone right now.
Yeah, thank you here. And hello from Hamburg, Germany. So I'm kind of your neighbor. And one question I have at first, thank you for this presentation. And like I saw a lot of events here, and this was one presentation I really liked when it started from, like the first presentation was such perfect. But one question, do you only want to do English, so presentations or events in English or also in German?
Oh, our conference was in German.
Okay.
The keynote
Partly.
from Frank, partly, mostly. The keynote was in English from Frank Rose, and the rest was in German. Yeah.
Okay.
And when you bought the ticket, you rent the VR headset with the ticket, and so we gave our attendees the opportunity to use the VR environment without having their own headset.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. So I take a look if you have another question. Not at that time. So if there are no other questions, maybe we can switch the location and go to our campfire to chat to each other if you want to. And yes, thank you very much for your time and your interest and your attention.
Yeah, and one more time, I'd like to announce that you're all invited to take part in our party that will start at 10 o'clock.
German time.
Where we have a live, German time, CET, where we have a live DJ set delivered by DJ Illuminati. She was also the DJ at the after show party of our conference, and we can really recommend that you take part, because in these difficult times, the question is how to party, and this is one option, and hopefully we see you there. And now, if for those who want to still be in a discussion with us on a one-to-one level, you can join us at the campfire. But thanks for coming, and see you at the next X night.
The camp